When you have a small shop, you got to keep everything mobile. All your tools should be up on wheels so that you can wheel them out. I'm operating in a one-car garage. Well, I got some room in there. Right now it's a mess. A lot of times I just have to pull my tools out into the driveway here and work out here just because there's not enough room inside. So having all your tools mobile, I consider a key thing to do, particularly with the table saw. This is my DeWalt 7685, I believe it is. And when I just got it last year, and when I got the saw, I decided I was going to build a cart for it. This design is from Jones Works, and it works awesome. It's perfect. Nice little outfield feed table on it, assembly table if necessary. I've got a 2-stage dust collector underneath, just operated by shop vacs that are hooked up to the back of the hose. Does a pretty good job of collecting the dust. It's got a little cyclone top here from the Home Depot, and it's nice and compact. Some storage down here. Still want to maybe put a drawer in underneath there, but that's to come. I got a couple of power strips here. This side is for sanders or whatever other handheld tools I might be using. I plug them in here, and then I can work on the top here. On the other side is another power strip. This has the table saw plugged into it. It's got the other power strip plugged into it, and it's got a remote. Plugged into the remote is the shop vac. So with a little handheld thing, I can turn this on and not have to try and maneuver my way around. It's very simple. I also have on this one thing, it controls 3 different tools. So I have a air compressor, the shop vacs, the table saw, and it's all from one remote. And this is actually for Christmas lights. I got it at Home Depot on sale. It was clearance. It was like $5. I got about 20 of these things, so I've been placing them around my shop. I use them to control different tools, lights, whatever. Now my table saw is on wheels. They're only 3.5 inch casters that I picked up from Harbor Freight, and in my idiocy, I got locking swivels on the front and locking straight casters on the back. Now, if you're moving a shopping cart, that's probably not a bad setup to have. But when you want to move a table saw around, moving it from side to side and moving it in and out of position, that's a pain in the neck. So today, I'm going to swap out all these casters for new ones that swivel. I had planned on going back to Harbor Freight and getting another set of casters to get this whole thing to be able to maneuver properly in the garage. But Vevor contacted me and said they had some casters they'd like me to check out. So you can imagine my excitement when they offered to send me a set of casters and give them a review. Vevor, you might remember, is the company that I reviewed their transfer pump, and I'll link that up here. The transfer pump was pretty well constructed. It was pretty solid. So I was figuring these were going to be solid. Well, it surpassed my expectations. These are the casters. They are 4-inch casters, and they got some real beefy hardware around them. They swivel, of course, and they're locking. Don't try to do this one hand. Yeah, so anyway, they're locking. And so while they're 4 inches, the caster, the whole assembly is about 5+ inches tall. Now that's going to make it a little bit taller than the 3-inch casters, 3.5-inch casters that I have on there. It's going to raise everything up an inch or two, which is not a problem. When I did this, I made it a specific size, figuring be ease of use. But even bringing it up about 2 inches, that's going to put it right at about my hip size, which is probably pretty good for the table saw height. So I'm not concerned at all about that. So what I'm going to do is remove all the equipment, turn the table on its side, and then we'll put these new casters on and see how it all works out. Just to offer up a comparison of the two, these are actually 3-inch casters. These are 4-inch, but as I said, with about an inch plus in hardware height. So it'll be about 5 inches. As you can see, these casters really weren't bad from Harbor Freight. A lot of times you got to be careful, of course, with what you buy from Harbor Freight. I'm actually quite happy with these casters. They're not bad casters. I just don't think they compare with the beefiness of these casters. These also have locking nuts on them here. These look like they're held in with a rivet of sorts. So I'm interested in putting these on. What's nice about the new casters is they have the exact same footprint as the old casters. So the holes line up. So I won't have to drill any new holes. I can just use the existing holes that I've got there when I install these. A set comes with 2 locking casters and 2 regular swivel casters. So I'm putting the locking ones by the table saw. That way, when I pull the saw out to use, I can just step right there without having to walk around the table. Because the holes are already there and already aligned, it's just quick work of screwing these in. If I had the driver on the right side, I'll just put the other one in down there, and then we'll stand it upright. All right, it's right side up again, and I've got the casters in position, and it hardly changed the height of it at all. So it was well worth the effort to put the new casters on so that it can spin in any direction, go forward, backwards, left, right. And then just step on it like that. And actually, just one really holds it in place. Let's get the other one out. There it is. There we go. And now, yeah, sure, you can knock it around, but that's not going anywhere when you're feeding wood through the saw. And just like every similarly designed locking caster, just a flip of your toe and it releases the lock. Get my toe under there. There we go. And now we're mobile. Gotta say, if you've been on the internet at all, you know everybody sings the praises of this saw as a good all-around saw for homeowner, even contractors. And I love it. It's everything and more that I've wanted. Also, I can't sing the praises enough of this Jones work table design, and I'll put a link to it right up here. And it's a 2-part video. The first part, you basically get this, and the site actually sells plans. I think they're pretty affordable. But I actually was able to build this just from the watching the videos 100 times. And One, because I watched it a dozen times or so, just because I like the design and his build when he was building it, really inspiring. And then in the second video, he actually puts on a bunch of additions, like a router up top, and then a flip up drawer here to give you a little bit extra space to put your sheet goods on, to provide support beyond just the fence. So both the saw and the table design are excellent. And now I gotta say, really like these casters that Vevor sent me. Not only did Vevor send me one set, they actually sent me 5 sets, all of the same quality and design. So I've got a drill press table that I'm gonna make mobile. It's actually got the crappy Harbor Freight casters on it, and one of them already broke, so it's like I have a piece of wood wedged under there holding it up right now. And then I have a bandsaw, a benchtop bandsaw that's on a little cabinet that I'm gonna make mobile as well now. I got a lot of uses for these casters. I'd say they're well worth the price. I'm gonna put a link, an Amazon link to the casters, and that way if you want to get if you want to get a set yourself, they're really not much more expensive than the Harbor Freight ones. Really just a couple of dollars more per set than the Harbor Freight, and you're getting such a better quality wheel with it, and then the hardware is nice and beefy. So I definitely give these casters a thumbs up from Vevor. Highly recommend you go out and get yourself at least one set. They're definitely worth the price, and like I said, just not much more than a Harbor Freight, and you're getting superior quality. Okay, thanks for watching.